People are saying that if Zohran Mandami is elected mayor of New York, that New York will become like Johnson's Chicago.
Which is what one of the safest, most affordable big cities in America?
A few moments later.
We have some breaking news at 5. 18 people are shot in River North, leaving a club after an album release party. At least 4 of those victims have died.
And we're back, y'all. Thank you for watching today. Go ahead and hit that like button, my people. You know that it helps us out a ton. And of course, it helps you because it helps us. It helps us keep bringing you these stories every day. You know, things you need to know. Now, y'all, as you can see from the coming up, your boy, the illustrious Brandon Johnson, Chicago mayor with the high approval rating of under 10%. Yeah, I flipped it. You like how I flipped that, right? He is declaring his city one of the safest big cities in America and taking credit for a dramatic drop in crime, according to him. Now, y'all, I'm just going to go ahead and cut right to the chase. The whole country experienced a crazy increase in crime with COVID, okay? Post-COVID, during COVID, and after, things went crazy. And now things are coming back down to normal. So the entire country is experiencing a decrease. But even with the decrease, Chicago still leads the country in many categories of crime, including murder. So as you listen to this politician, we can say twist the truth. I'm going to say lie because to be honest, this is the type of thing that personally gets me upset. He, in my opinion, is playing with people's lives. He's not telling the truth. He's not being honest. And he's doing the politician-y thing of one taking credit for. Look, let him take credit, right? He takes credit because the crime rates have come down in his city. He's the mayor, so he's going to take credit for that. Fine. They're coming down everywhere. It's like the tide, y'all. It's like a high tide, right? The tide goes up. You say, oh, we need to get this water level down. We need to get the water level down. The tide's going to come back down anyway. But you take credit when it does come down, fine. But to say his city is one of the safest big cities in America is just a bold-faced lie. And it also shows to me that the people who are losing their lives, he's discounting that. That's the way I see it. So today you're going to see this reporter, William Kelly, you're going to see him call Brandon Johnson out to his face. You're going to see Brandon Johnson lie. And you're also going to see this report of the impact of his failed policies, y'all. It's not all his fault. These problems existed long before he took over as mayor, but now he has to own it because he's been there for a number of years. So y'all, first let's get into this back and forth between Mayor Johnson and Kelly so you can see the hubris. And then we're going to jump into the impact about the story of what happened overnight, which is the impact of his failed policies. But before we do, y'all, make sure you take care of your money. I'm not going to make this a long one, y'all. Go to Paralegold, PARALEGOLD.com or call 844-651-8334, 844-651-8334. If you have $50,000 to $100,000 or more in your retirement, protected from inflation, protected from monetary debasement, you're about to retire. Make sure your money's still there and it's still worth something by investing at least some of it in gold. Talk to our partners at Augusta Precious Metals. Go click the link now, get the free information, and protect your precious retirement.
Mayor Johnson, your name has become a cautionary tale and a punchline nationally. People are saying that if Zohran Mandami is elected mayor of New York, that New York will become like Johnson's Chicago.
Which is what one of the safest, most affordable big cities in America? Well, that's not a bad thing. And just for the record, get this message to Zohran.
Okay.
If he's a Mets fan, the Cubbies are coming for him. All right?
All right. Well, unfortunately,
you don't know if he's a Mets fan or not.
I really don't care if he's a Mets fan or not. What I care about is the fact that Chicago has a $1 billion budget gap, migrant-driven budget gap. That your policy, your plan to have a government-run grocery store has collapsed, and you're at a 6% approval rating currently. So what do you say?
It's time for the question.
What do you say to these people around the country who are saying that essentially your policies are a blueprint for how to destroy a major American city. And what do you think Zoran's approval rating will be if he institutes your policies?
So perhaps you were dozing off during my presentation, which that has happened when I was a teacher. So I'm not even offended by it that you fell asleep during my presentation. But I will ask you to work a little bit harder to stay awake during class, because otherwise you're going to miss the important information. So there's a 30% reduction in homicides. In fact, even though there's a national trend, the city of Chicago is ahead of other major cities when it comes to the reduction of violence in the city of Chicago. So it's working. In terms of affordability, we are one of the most affordable big cities in the entire country, right? And so the numbers bear out. And so here's what I'm encouraging everyone to do. Let's continue to organize and work hard to ensure that we have elected leaders that understand the value of supporting working people. We're going to build the safest, most affordable big city in America. I made a commitment to that, and we're going to continue to hold to that commitment.
Thanks.
Real
We'll go to Heather.
Chicagoans tell me that you sound delusional when you say that.
Okay, we're going to go to Heather now. Thanks.
No, I'm sorry, but
Thanks.
everybody got a follow-up. I'm going to ask my follow-up question,
Please
okay?
ask the question.
Every single...
No preamble.
Sorry, Aaron, but I do get to have a follow-up, okay?
No preamble, just a question.
Every other reporter got a follow-up question.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Ask the question.
The real Chicagoans say that you sound delusional when you say that your policies are working. Your government-run
All right, we're going to go to Heather now.
collapsed.
Thank you.
You want to raise taxes on groceries. No self-respecting socialist would do that. I mean, obviously, a grocery tax is a tax.
Hey, we need to keep moving. Thanks.
What do you say to real Chicagoans who are not happy with your policies?
Thanks.
Go Cubs. Next.
We'll go to Heather now. Thanks.
So there you saw Johnson put on the spot. You saw him defend himself. Fine, defend yourself, right? I think that's cool. I thought he used to look like a deer caught in the headlights, right? And now he has some comeback. He has some snapback. That's all fine and good. But the lies, okay? The lies that he has one of the safest big cities in America. It's just blatant. And what's the problem with that? Well, because people are really losing their lives, and it's his watch, okay? It's on his watch. Look at what happened just last night with a mass shooting. Approximately 18 people shot, 4 people lost their life in one of the safest big cities in America, according to the illustrious sub 10% approval rating mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson. Let's take a look.
We have some breaking news at 5. 18 people are shot in River North, leaving a club after an album release party. At least 4 of those victims have died. You are watching CBS News Chicago. Good morning, everybody. I'm Dana Kozlov.
And I'm Adrena Sinclair. We want to get you right to the scene where this all took place overnight. Our Darius Johnson live here along Chicago and Orleans. And Darius, we understand this was a drive-by shooting. What else are we learning about this?
Hey there, ladies. Good morning to you. I have information coming in by the minute from a city source. That city source confirms to me that 3 shooters pulled up in a black SUV and opened fire as people were leaving an album release party, as many of them were pouring out of this lounge. Take a look behind me right now. This morning, 5 hours after the shooting, you can still see police here at the scene as firefighters just finished cleaning up the scene. It was a lot of debris that was left outside here from when a lot of people scattered overnight. A city source at the scene tells us this was an album listening party for a female Chicago rapper known as Mello Buckzz. Witnesses tell us as people were leaving the lounge, a black SUV with multiple shooters inside pulled up and opened fire. 18 people in total were shot, and we're told most of them are women. We now know 4 of them have died. 2 died at Northwestern, 2 others died at Stroger Hospital. The condition of the rapper who was hosting the party is unknown at this time, and this scene is very chaotic with a lot of victims and several officers who are trying to process the scene as EMTs tend to nearly 2 dozen who were shot.
What you hear, man?
So, do I think Brandon Johnson's a bad person? No. Do I think Brandon Johnson is a politician trying to spin the stats in his favor? Yes. Do I think Brandon Johnson is a politician trying to put lipstick on a pig? Yes. Do I think Brandon Johnson is attempting to save something of his mayorship, which has been a complete and total disaster. I'm sure he would disagree with that, because from his perspective, he's probably doing the best that he can. But from the perspective of Chicago voters, he's been a disaster, and those are the people who count. So do I think he's trying to save that? Yes. The problem I have, and I'm not a Chicagoan, y'all. I've been said this many times. So why do I have an opinion? Because his city takes federal dollars. They give it to people who are in the country without permission. They turn around and then say that they have a budget deficit. They sue the federal government because they want the money to keep flowing, to keep giving to people who are in the country without permission, when he has a total disaster on his hands among the people who live there, the citizens and the people who have been there for generations. That's why I'm speaking on it. Okay. Other than that, I wouldn't care about this guy. So my criticism is, we need to start waking up and holding these people accountable, y'all. I don't think he's a bad guy. I do think he's sincere. I do think he's trying. I do think he's doing the politician-y thing with the way he's talking about things. But as you can see, this is costing real lives. So y'all let me know, do you agree with me? Or are you a Chicagoan and you want to say, hey man, you're not even from here, so butt out, Whatever you want to say, let me know down in the comments. But before you do, please stop, hit the share button, share this video out over email, text message, WhatsApp, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, all your favorite social mediums. And of course, if you're not a subscriber, please do subscribe. For my people with a retirement, you don't want Brandon Johnson to get his little grubbies on it. Go to Paralegold, PARALEGOLD.com. Talk to our people at Augusta Precious Metals about protecting your retirement from all of this craziness happening right now. And you can call them at 844-651-8334. Thank y'all for watching. Love y'all, and we'll see you back in the next one.